We are at the final stage of the event, and basically what we have done is that we have written, let's say, a book. We have written a book, some chapters, and then we have to write the new chapters. So this panel is like to talk about the chapters that we have written with ISITEP 1.0, and then in this panel we would also like to tell what we have shared about the next chapter that we have to write, that is ISITEP 2.0. And so the first question is to Etienne, that has the microphone, I guess. Okay. Etienne, what was, this is the question, what was the situation before ISITEP?
What was the legislation?
No, the situation before ISITEP.
The situation before ISITEP was a nightmare because it is very simple. Some international mission was not able to be executed. When you have a chase, if you have to go forward without radio communication, sometimes the control room asks you to stop because you are not anymore in security.
Okay, so first question very clear, then I give the end to Jaakko. What we have concluded with, from a technical point of view, very short in ISITEP. What's the technical result?
Okay, I would say we have done the job. ISI is cross-border communications. If you look at the map, I think 90% of the cases we have a border between two countries. Now we have a solution that we are showing now between Norway and Sweden, which is showing how to do it. So technically it's ready. We have some cases, again, looking at the map, there are three countries, like Finland, Norway, and Holland, Belgium, Luxembourg, for example. And there we need a bit more. Okay, we had a demonstration in Limburg. We showed that we can handle the three cases as well. So that done is deal. And I think that is the rest, maybe 9% of the use cases. And then there is some special cases, maybe 1% where we need more. We maybe do not today yet have an answer for total scalability that we have been talking about, but I think the cases that we have now put our target in ISITEP have been shown to be able to be fulfilled.
Okay, thank you, Jaakko. And now I would like, well, we said results in terms of end user, we said results in terms of industry, so what we have to say, everything is fine. But let's go to the university, that is a bit more fair, let's say, and your feeling about the performance achieved at technology level in ISITEP.
Okay, Claudio, let me start by saying, but for those of in the audience that are not maybe so familiar with European projects, that ISITEP is a kind of a special project because it's not so common having, let's say, very ambitious demonstration targets into the projects. And also, you know, the involvement of end users and contribution of the end users is not a matter that is very common in European projects. So this has been the case for ISITEP, and of course, that the key results of ISITEP are very much sustained on the different demonstrations.
I would like to add, thank you for this point, but I would like to add to this that a reviewer said we didn't expect you achieved all the results in such a way. This could be a problem, he said, because of the other projects.
So yeah, let me then complement that. But behind, let's say, this demonstration, but the final results, also for those who have not been following ISITEP on the day-to-day, I think that there are behind, in the background, there is a lot of work. It has been, let's say, a quite comprehensive analysis of the issues. I mean, it has not been just a matter of defining the solution for the implementation. There are methodologies followed to derive or to make risk and threat analysis and derive security requirements. There has been a broad analysis on the interworking solutions, taking into account also issues or technologies happening into the commercial domain. Or, for example, in the terminal side, it's not just a matter of defining the communications manager, but also having, let's say, forward-looking elements in terms of, for example, policy-driven mechanisms that could help into the negotiation process. So as a result, let's say, there are also, let's say, I would say quite good publications in conferences. Some of the publications also have been invited to be extended in the form of papers in journals. So I think that technically there are in the background or inside ISITEP and in the documents and deliverables quite nice and good.
Thank you, Oriol. And then we talk about technology, but what we said from advisory board is the human factor. That is quite a big problem when we want to make people from different countries and possibly different languages work together. So the question that I raise to Marianne is, what about the human factor procedures, what we have achieved in ISITEP from your experience, since you have concluded all this activity? We have these photos in the background for the ministry. Marianne.
I think we need to thank all the end users that has been with us through the whole project, because MSP and DNK would not have been able to develop any procedures without working really close with the police on both sides of the border, fire rescue, and also health services, and also we had customs representatives, and getting all of those perspectives and discussing back and forth the needs and the solutions and all that. It's been taking many meetings and many ways of clarifying both the technological constraints and possibilities and the needs and what needs to be put in place. So without that understanding, we would not have been able to do it. But I do think many of the things that we have developed and discovered and agreed on, I think can be reused by many as an inspiration to be used in the future, these types of partnership. But I do think we have to think in terms of partnership.
Okay. But you are satisfied about the result of human procedures? You succeeded in your opinion?
Yes, yes, I do think so. It needs to put into daily practice, so there's still a lot of work and also costs to be involved. But we have really lifted the possibilities and we showed everybody that this is what we can do, and it worked very, very well.
Okay. Now, there is a right question for Etienne, because he said what happened without, what was the situation without ISITEP? The answer was a nightmare. And now the question is what the benefit now that we have arrived at this point, Etienne? From end user point of view, of course.
The benefit is that we have today already an example of agreement, of procedures, and we can reuse it. And by the way, for the demo, we reuse for the denomination of the co-groups the same taxonomy as it was used for by Norway and Sweden. And of course, we will be able to execute our mission abroad, and we will be able to collaborate, something that is nearly impossible to do.
So, with this Etienne word, let's say that we conclude our analysis with this middle step, that is ISITEP 1.0. In order to go in the next step, that is ISITEP 2.0, I asked to Phil just to tell us, in your opinion, which is the context at European level and what can be done, must be done.
Well, I think I'd like to make 2 points really. Firstly, we shouldn't underestimate how long PMR is going to be with us. LTE or 5G or whatever it is when it comes along is going to be part of the future of critical communication, but it's only going to be a part. The one thing that Tetrapol and Tetra has in common, and that doesn't have a lot in common, is that I was going to say standards, so I'll give, yeah, all right, I'll call them standards. That the standards were written to meet the requirements of critical communications users. LTE is a standard for people to download music and upload films and things. So we have to change that. If we want LTE to be part of the future, and we do, because narrowband Tetra, I'll speak about Tetra because that's my background, narrowband Tetra delivers voice and narrowband data, and we want to improve on that. And the best way of improving on that is to try to utilise broadband. But there are 40 million PMR users in the world. About half of those are in the critical communications world. There's 7.6 billion users of mobile phones. So that's where all the investment is going. So this technology we think we're going to use that's designed to download pictures, we have to get them to listen to us to include critical communications functionalities and standards. We're trying to do that. We've had some success, but it's a long road. So Germany, for example, has, what's it now, 680,000 users on the network. I don't know if anybody from Germany in the audience. They put that in today, this year. That costs them hundreds of millions of euros. They're not going to throw that away anytime soon. They're going to want to keep that being developed, used, and they will add use of broadband to that. The Dutch, we've heard from the Dutch, what are the Dutch doing? Well, they've gone out and they bought a brand new Tetra network. Today, they bought a brand new Tetra network. It hasn't even gone in yet. They will use that, develop that, at the same time they're using and develop their LTE requirements. So, that's my first point. PMR is here, some people would say forever, but let's just say for a long time. The second thing is, the world's changing. The world's always changing. I'm an old fart, things that's totally different today from when I was a young man. And we've seen the issues in France and in Belgium, and we need the citizens of Europe expect critical communication users to be able to deal with incidents like that, which are becoming more and more common. The reality is that we're hiding behind artificial walls and saying, we can't communicate with you because there's this imaginary line on the map. That's nonsense. We have to, I keep saying we, but I mean you, the critical communications users have to grasp the problems and we have to work together to address those issues. And as we've heard today, the technology seems to have progressed leaps and bounds. The issue is more how we do that, how we set up talk groups at a simple level, how we agree the procedures between different countries, how we combat the different languages, and the point Etienne made earlier on, it's not just about borders, it's about operations within countries involving multiple agencies from multiple countries. So I think we're at the beginning of a process rather than the end.
Thank you, Phil, because it's exactly the words that I need now to say the next question. The next question would have been down to Etienne. It's already here. Okay. Etienne, so yesterday we had the advisory board. We had the advisory board and we said, okay, we have to do the ISITEP 2.0, but how to do this? Then we collected some requirements, some suggestions for all the advisory board people that we had inside. And basically, the question is, from end user perspective, what would you like to achieve? What would you like to do in ISITEP 2.0?
The first thing I think I will try to do it is to have a moral endorsement by, for example, the Police Cooperation European Working Group, so that we can, with this endorsement, go to more political level and relying on this, convince people to put budget for the scaling up of the Norway-Sweden experience.
Yesterday we talked about the ISITEP 2.0 and someone has said to me, well, but what's for? What is this project? So we detailed something. We said that we agreed that it will be a shared project among end user, industry, universities, and small medium enterprises. Because if we are able to do this stuff, then at political level, maybe we will have good chances to do this stuff. To say which is the right position, I guess. So the project will be basically in two parts: a central European project and bilateral projects. That is similar to the. This is of course the first idea. This is similar to what happened in roaming, in what happened in other European and also bilateral projects. At European level, we expect a project that supports bilateral one, for example, Sweden has to be connected with Finland and so on. So at central level, we need clear rules that exchange data for roaming, but possibly also we need connection of all the national networks. But possibly we need also that Europe helps us in doing a memorandum of understanding, and we think that since we are creating and enabling a European police, then the funding, the money will come from Europe. As we told, Juncker says there are 40 billion for immigrants and terrorists, so I guess that this kind of project will cost much less than this stuff. So this is a project. It will take part in the next days. We will create a document that we will share because it's part of ISITEP document, so everyone of the advisory board will consider this project. Then we will discuss it at, there is no again, we will discuss it at law enforcement, we will discuss it at the Direction General Home and Eco. And we will consider and we will have in place operations in order to go at political level, because now it's not a thing of first responder community, but it's a thing at political level. And let's say that politics needs this project. It's not first responder that needs it, because politics needs it because to say something to the citizens in terms of increased security. So this is what we would like to do, or we shared yesterday for ISITEP 2.0, but then I go to Orion and I say, well, if you have understood at least some details for this new project to extend ISITEP all over Europe, what are technical challenges and also benefits?
Yeah, from my point of view, it's very clear that from ISITEP we have very good assets and expertise. We have an example of a point-to-point interconnection, and this is very valuable, but there is the opportunity to extend this to a European scale, and I think that all this background, of course, is going to be very useful for this. In terms of technical challenges, of course, if we are thinking on a European-wide solution, there won't be no more, let's say, point-to-point connection. There will be the need to have kind of hub, and that will bring challenges about security or glucose or whatever. But anyway, I would say that all these challenges are not straightforward, but are doable. I mean, with the expertise accumulated, as you were saying, Claudia, I think it's more a matter of pushing this at a political level, and also we will have to take into account this in the context also of the evolutions that we have on the broadband communications. So that, in my opinion, there will be the need to have, let's say, consistency on the picture that ISITEP 2.0 could drive about European interconnection with the future deployment of LTE broadband networks.
Well, interesting point that I raised also to Jaco from an industry point of view. We talked about LTE, we talked about TIFRA from a technology point of view, this new project. How do you say it from an industrial perspective?
Okay, as Phil said, there will be a long period of coexistence of TETRA and LTE. As the noted, tetra data is very tiny, and LTE, even 3G, gives the real capacity to have data communications. Basically, when we speak about data, the user needs in police, in civil, they are quite the same from point of the technical solution, to have a connection. And then the different thing maybe is the reliability, which is not the best in the public networks today, but it's more an electricity problem, not a kind of functionality problem. And then there's security, and security comes all with terminal. So how do we secure an LTE terminal for the use case of the police? Concerning the tetra or LTE, as I said, tetra for voice, LTE for data, and we also have good chances for interoperability there. We can run tetra services over LTE to smartphones. We can have LTE-based PTT systems connected to tetra systems so that they seem to the end user as being one system. I see in the industry many companies having these kind of concepts, which means that for the police and rescue other end users, there will be possibility to enter the home services via different type of terminals. So that gives a lot more perspective. Concerning the dedicated LTE networks, I see now a lot of bottlenecks. First of all, frequency. I see the frequencies being auctioned out. Even also those frequencies that have been kind of dedicated for PMR. The other problem there is that there is typically not financing really to build a new network. And when we know that we need a lot more base stations than in tetra, means that we need a big investment. And then the question is that, okay, can I afford to have LTE at all? Then I may go to an MVNO type of thing, use cellular, one or even many cellular in the same time. Or can I afford to make LTE maybe in city areas and then try to use the other areas with the cellular networks? And then I need some kind of hybrid solution that I can use both in the same time. I think that there will be many different ways in many different countries. It's very difficult to see any real European coherence here, even that we are...
So double project, European one and bilateral.
Well, I think we have, based on different countries, we may find out that there are a certain group of countries which are in a kind of similar situation, and then they can easily join forces. I think in Scandinavia we have that kind of thing. UK is going its own way, totally, now, and then we have some other countries which may have different problems. So I think we have to look more area by area, country by country, what and how they can go to the future. But I think one common thing, if you want to find common things, is the terminal security. All the terminals, intelligent terminal platforms come from USA. Okay, that means that they are exposed to the
okay.
And a European security solution for terminals. So that could be one common theme in all European countries.
Okay, thank you. To Marianne, I wanted to ask her the procedure challenge, but then I saw this photo, and then I said, well, maybe the question is different. Everyone has always some problem in asking to his chef something, but my question is now well, how the ministry decided to do all this stuff? I mean, what were the reasons that suggested them to go ahead? Because there is something that we have to do also with our ministries. So what were the point that they said, okay, with this point I want to do this?
When the turning point, we already have all the agreements in Scandinavia, in the Nordic, between the Nordic countries to cooperate with our resources, our scarce resources. We need to work together. So we have that framework, we have those agreements, we have the that will to cooperate. And we are now giving the means to do that, so they can communicate when they help each other out. So that's been a political will, and now we show that, okay, this is the way to make this real. It's much safer when you can communicate all the way, and you can also communicate back to the home control room where your supervisors are, and also more resources. So that's the backbone for that. I don't think you will find two countries that will go into that kind of partnership on a technological basis without having that cooperative basis first. It needs to be, and there has to be an acknowledged need to join, because it's a strong partnership. It really is a strong partnership, because MSP and DNK are now giving up some of the when we will now want to change talk group structure, we want to change anything technical between us, we cannot do that alone. We need to cooperate with Sweden, so it might delay some of the things. We haven't quite seen what it means on a day-to-day basis. We think it's great, but it's a mindset. So I think Anita and I, when we talk to other colleagues that haven't been in this project and cooperated, collaborated this close, they are not in the mindset that this is a joint force. This is something we don't own by our own. So we're going from networks that are limited or very secure and closed, and we control it, to opening up. And it's not just a technological opening. It's a mindset, and it has a lot of advantages. So I think you have to think in terms of partnerships here.
Okay. Thank you, Marianne. And now I would like to ask to someone who is expert to the user community, what's your opinion? If we are able to, or if you are able to achieve an ISITEP 2.0, and we will for sure, what will be the benefit for the end users and for the end users in day-by-day life, let's say, working life?
Okay, I think that it's not me the one that can provide the best answer, but the end users themselves. But I think that we've seen
in fact, it is an external point of view.
In the demos, we've seen practical examples of cases where these situations that can occur can be solved with the proper technology in place. So to me, I mean, it's no doubt that solving the interoperability issue, let's say, would be of great benefit, but extend it at a larger scale, or trying to extend, for example, the procedures that have been defined between Norway and Sweden, and adopt or adapt as needed to other countries. Also, arising issues related to standardization of certain elements could help in bringing, let's say, all Europe together under common platforms, technologies, procedures, and standards.
Okay, thank you, Oyo. Then the last question to Phil. I asked to Phil to think about a vision, let's say. So let's consider that we have ISITEP 2.0 across Europe, very strange thing, but if we have this, what's your feeling? What could we have at European level in a broader terms?
Well, first of all, I'm not part of ISITEP. I'm not part of the project. I've been on the advisory board, so I don't even know what ISITEP 2 means. What I do know is that I think we're at an unprecedented place in history in Europe. I feel a bit of a fraud talking to you guys about interoperability, because I'm English and we don't do interoperability, do we? We have we have some water around us, and we're quite happy with that. But I think we have organised crime, we have terrorism, we have migration, all big issues for Europe today. And I think we have two ways to go now. We either start building physical walls, like at least one country has already done, and we control people coming in and out of our particular bit of Europe with a physical wall, or we collaborate, as was said before. And we now have some of the tools to do it. So I think that we should go down that path. We should continue to develop the tools. We should continue to develop our collaboration, and we should not be building walls. But I mean, I know I'm sounding a bit dramatic, but I think this is a threat to Schengen. I think unless we grasp the nettle now, we're going to, as a continent, we'll fall apart. We won't be able to handle organised crime. Criminals don't recognise lines on maps. They just move around from one city to another. We need to be able to cope with that. So that's where I'm coming from.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil. Well, now we have a certain agenda, but I think that would be nice if there is some nice, or it's possible, there is some question, right? There is some question that we can raise in order to have a better ISITEP 2.0. A better ISITEP 2.0 means better jointly shared, in my opinion, jointly agreed.
Oh, I have other questions, not to ISITEP 2. Am I allowed to come with that question? I have two questions. In Norway, it's contracted and integration between Nødnet and GSMR. Does anybody have experience with interconnection or group communication between TETRA and GSMR networks?
Well, I guess that I have to ask this question to someone who is able to answer. And if you don't see rising any hand, it means that the answer is no.
Thank you.
Well, I can tell you what's happening going forward, and that is UIC, the Union, was it Union International Chemin de Fer, and ERA.
GSMR.
But the rail bodies that use GSMR have exactly the same issues as critical communications have. Plus they have a problem with GSMR. I think GSMR has come to its end of its life. They have to look to see what they're going to do. Clearly they want to utilise broadband, and so they're working with the TCCA trying to solve the same problem. I don't think there is or will be any interconnection between TETRA and GSMR.
I guess that Jaakko wants to say something more.
Okay, in Finland the GSMR is being replaced by using airless TETRA service. It's just adding some base stations near the tracks of the rail, and that would have been the best solution from the beginning, but they made the city decision to buy GSMR, and now we are backing off and back to TETRA. That was also initially another plan.
Okay.
Sorry, just one last point, if I may. When you hear about LTER, that's marketing speak. There is no such thing as LTER.
Thank you. And my other question is actually from Sweden. County representatives in the Swedish-Norwegian project requested a phone book in our last workshop. In ISITEP User Forum #1 in Brussels, Roma 3 presented their project to develop a phone book application within this project. What is the status for the phone book, and will it be made available for other users?
Okay, I guess that I don't know who wants to answer to this question. Maybe Federico. And just to talk something more about this question. When we started to do ISITEP, there were Hans Borgonian, and he said, listen, we have okay, we have a technical problem, we have a procedural problem, but consider that the human factor is a big issue. And because we lost lots of time in training and things like this. So do something. And then we exchanged some with us for going, and we said, okay, we have to do something. One was the phone book, and there were other one like this one, in order to reduce the time for training. So Federico, it's up to you.
Yeah, this application was about to facilitate migration and roaming, and it was intended to have a dynamic update of the phone book, leveraging on the can you hear me? Yeah, leveraging on the smart platform, especially on the Android OS that we were going to use. This development is being performed jointly by Roma Trey and Leonardo, and of course the applications belong to the consortium, and in particular to the partners that have developed. That said, of course, we as manufacturers and okay, Roma Trey as a research center, we are more than willing to discuss with the customers about adaptation and its use. And this application will be validated together with the others on the enhanced terminal, and it will be in charge of ISCOM as a third party to validate its functionality at our premises in the upcoming demo.
Okay, are there other questions? So I think that we are going to the conclusion, and before doing the final photos with this wonderful photo, just one thing. With Etienne in one Tetra conference, we said without money, no dreams. And then we got ISITEP 1.0 that luckily arrived with the perspective and also with the funding necessary. Now we are at this middle step, but the situation is changed in the sense that now, in our opinion, it's politics that needs this kind of project, this ISITEP 2.0. So my feeling, and I hope it's for everyone, is to do, let's say, a dream 2.0, that is to meet each other next year with a nice ISITEP 2.0. So my word is arrivederci to Rome next year here. And before going on, I would like, if it's possible, to have a photo with this kind of background all together, because it's important.